Hey. Please stand by, connection issues. Oh my. Well, good gravy, it says connecting. And there it is. How about that? Hey, everybody. It's time for Strat-O-Matic Baseball. Steve Aquilon coming to you early. 10:05 a.m. Pacific. Just heating up some morning coffee. Another cool, cloudy day. Still recovering from the bronchial, whatchamacallit, and staying in today. So I figured, what the heck, let's get into my B project, as I call it, my 1974 Dodger replay. We'll have the 1966 game today at the usual 3 p.m. Pacific, but today it's the Dodgers at the Padres. This is the second of a 4-game set. The Dodgers won the first one. Dodgers come into the season with come into this game with a 13-16 record. And today they'll have the lefty Tommy John on the mound. He'll be opposed by Dave Friesleben. Friesleben, 9-14 with a 3.65 that year. Actually a pretty good year. It appears that he didn't get much run support. So a pretty good card for Friesleben. We'll get to the lineups here in just a moment. Oh man, ever since I got that burr grinder, I can really tell the difference in my morning coffee. I'm still battling through the voice issues, so bear with me there. I'll do the best I can. 2.5 weeks, almost 3 now with this bronchial crud. But I did get a new prescription yesterday, so hopefully that'll kick in. I do feel better, I just don't quite have the still got a little rattle in my throat there. And good morning, Philip. Welcome. Glad you could join me this morning. I did not pre-announce this game. This is one of those spur-of-the-moment things. Seemed like a good time for some Strat. Nothing else to do around here. There's nothing on the tube, as usual. So let's get to the lineups for the Dodgers. Pretty much the standard. It'll be Davey Lopes leading off and playing second base. Bill Buckner in left field batting second. Jimmy Wynn plays center field and bats third. Steve Garvey plays first base and bats cleanup. Willie Crawford will be in right field hitting fifth. Ron Say, the third baseman, hits sixth. Bill Russell will play shortstop and bat seventh, with Steve Yeager doing the catching and batting eighth, and Tommy John batting ninth. For San Diego, a little different look to their lineup today. Darryl Thomas will lead off and play second base. Enzo Hernandez, the shortstop, will bat second. Willie McCovey at first base moves up to the number 3 spot in the order. Nate Colbert will be in left field again. He'll bat cleanup today. Dave Winfield will get a start in center field, and he'll bat fifth. Against the lefty John, Clarence Cito Gaston in right field hit 6th. Fred Kendall will do the catching and bat 7th. Dave Roberts, the third baseman, bats 8th. And Friesleben hitting 9th. So we're just about ready to get going here. Friesleben's completed his warm-ups. Here's Lope standing in from the right side. The umpire says, play ball. And we are underway here as Friesleben gets the sign from Kendall. Here's the first pitch of the game to Lopes on a 2-6. Lopes taps it down to shortstop. That's going to be Hernandez. Slick play by Hernandez, and there's one down. Oh, heck, wait a second. I need my basic fielding chart, don't I? Jumping around like this. Here's Buckner now, left-handed batter. Friesleben, the windup. The pitch to Buckner. That's going to be a 4-8 against the left-hander. That's a liner speared by Hernandez on a 15. So Buckner roped it right into the glove of Enzo Hernandez, and here's Jim Wynn now. 2 down, just getting underway here, top of the first. Friesleben delivers. The pitch to Wynn on a 4-9, and that's ball 4. He lost him. So a walk to Jimmy Wynn. Wynn a B stealer, +1 on the part of Kendall. So that's 13-14. They'll have to hold Wynn on, making him a 1-12. And here's Garvey now. Garvey standing in from the right side. Friesleben gets the sign. And from the stretch, here's the pitch to Garvey. On a 5-7. Swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Garvey on strikes. So for Los Angeles, no runs, no hits, they leave a man. At the end of half an inning, it's Dodgers nothing, Padres coming to bat. Tommy John, the left-hander for Los Angeles. Of course, this was the year. Let's look at his stats here. 13-3, 153 innings. This would be the year that he would be injured in the summer and end up having the surgery, which today bears his name, of course. So here's Darryl Thomas to lead things off for the Padres. John set now as Thomas steps in. Thomas, a switch hitter, batting righty against Tommy John. And John gets the sign from Yeager. Here's the windup and the pitch. On a 6-9 against the righty. That's a base hit into left field for Darryl Thomas. So Darryl Thomas with a leadoff single. Very fast, 1-16, but only a D stealer. I remember Darryl Thomas, the brief time he played for the Dodgers. I liked him a lot. He was a Swiss Army knife. He could play anywhere for you capably defensively and was very, very fast. I kind of think the 16 was a slight, but this was earlier in his career, so who knows. Okay, here's Enzo Hernandez now. John from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Enzo. That's going to be a 6-10 to the righty, and that's catcher's card X. Yeager's a 1. The roll is an 8, and that's going to be a pop-up fielded by Yeager. So that'll go 2X, and there's 1 away here in the bottom of the first, and Willie McCovey will be the hitter. McCovey, near the end of his career, but still has power, as evidenced by the 22 home runs and 344 at-bats that year. John from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Willie McCovey. That is a 1-5, and that's ball 4. McCovey draws the walk. So McCovey draws the walk. Thomas to second. First and second one away, and here comes Big Nate Colbert. Taking it kind of slow this morning, early in the day for me yet still. I can tell you without reservation that I am not a morning person. So for me, 10 a.m. is still clearly on the morning side of things. Okay, first and second one away. John from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Colbert. On a 2-5, swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Colbert on strikes. And here's Dave Winfield now. Winfield pinch hit in the last game. Very nice card. A lot of power against left-handers. John, that's outside, pitching carefully now to Winfield. And here's his next offer. On a 3-6, that's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Tommy John, pitching carefully to Winfield, walks him. And the Padres have the sacks full with 2 away here in the bottom of the first. And Cito Gaston coming to bat. So Tommy John in a jam here right away. Here's Gaston standing in from the right side. John gets the sign from Yeager, and here's the pitch. On a 5-10, that's a fly to center. That's playable. Wins there, and he puts it away. That will retire the side. So the Padres load the bases. 1 hit, 2 walks, and the first failed to score. And at the end of 1 complete, we are scoreless. Friesleven getting ready to work here in the second. Dodgers still trying to get untracked, 13-16 so far in this replay. Remember, they won 102 games that year in real life. And Friesleven will be looking at Crawford, Say, and Russell here in the second. Here's Willie Crawford now, left-handed batter. Friesleven winds and deals. The pitch to Crawford on a 1-10, that's a base hit the opposite way. So a single into left field for Willie Crawford. And he's aboard to lead things off here in the second. Crawford, a 1-16, another guy who doesn't steal with a D. Very fast base runner, however. He will not be held on, of course, and here's Ron Say now. Friesleven gets the sign from the stretch. The pitch to Say is a 4-10 against the righty. That's going to be center field X. Winfield's a 4. On a 17, he makes the catch. It's a deep enough fly ball that Crawford can tag up and go into second. So Say pushes Winfield back near the track, and that's enough for Crawford to tag up. So that'll go 8X. Willie Crawford takes second on the play. And here's Bill Russell. Friesleven gets the sign now. Here's the pitch, a 6-3 to the right-hander. Swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Russell. And it'll be up to Steve Yeager with 2 away. Friesleven, I correct myself. Friesleven, the pitch to Yeager. And on a 6-10, that's a grounder to third base X. Roberts is a 4. We have a re-roll on the 20. Did not lay flat. So a 17 on the 4 to third base. And that's going to be an out. So Roberts makes the play. That'll go 5-3X, and that will retire the side. So for the Dodgers, no runs a hit, a man left. I've got to mention again this thing I caught on YouTube yesterday. It's from MLB Network. It's part of their Carded series, which is normally focused on baseball cards. But this particular episode focused on Strat-O-Matic cards and players. And Bob Costas is on there playing Strat-O-Matic. Doug Glanville, hey, they do an interview with Doug Glanville, who loves to play Strat-O-Matic. You know, Glanville once petitioned the game company when they gave him a 2 in center and said, hey, wait a minute, you guys, I deserve a 1. And he showed them all the numbers, and his numbers were better than Jim Edmonds, who won the Gold Glove that year in center field. But Hal Richmond did not bend. He did not change Glanville's rating for him. They did on a special one-off card, but not in the main set. Okay, bottom of the second. Anyway, check that out. It's pretty fun. It's a good watch. Tommy John ready to work in the bottom of the second. It will be the bottom of the order. Kendall, Roberts, and Friesleven. Tommy John gets the sign from Yeager. The pitch to Kendall is a 6-7, and that's ball 4. That's going to be a walk, so a leadoff walk to Kendall. Tommy John, uncharacteristically, has already walked 3 batters this game, and we're only in the 2nd inning. And here's Dave Roberts now, right-handed hitter. And John from the stretch. Here comes the pitch to Roberts on a 6-10. That's catcher's card X. That's going to be Yeager again. He's a 1 on a 10. Out on a dribbler, runners advance 1 base. So a little nubber in front of the plate. Yeager out to get it. His only play is to first. That'll go 2-3, and Kendall advances to second. And here's Friesleben now, right-handed hitting pitcher. John comes set. Here's the pitch. On a 1-8, swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Friesleben. And here's Darryl Thomas. Thomas singled to lead things off in the 1st inning. Batting righty. Here's the pitch from Tommy John. That's a 6-10 again. That's the catcher's card. We should know that one by now. It's an 18 on a 1. That'll be a foul ball behind the plate. Yeager in position and makes the catch to retire the side. So for San Diego, no runs, no hits, a man left after 2 complete, no score. And hello, Philly Tony. Well, hello to you, sir. Hope your day is going well. And here's Friesleben now. He's getting ready to work here in the 3rd. Spokane Steve here, still working the morning bugs out. Probably going to need a little bit more coffee here today. And I say a little bit more coffee kind of the way Euchre said, just a bit outside. So here's Tommy John leading it off for the Dodgers. John, a right-handed batter. Friesleben, the delivery. Here's the pitch to John, a 2-4, swung on and missed strike 3. So 1 away, and it's the top of the order now, Davey Lopes. Friesleben gets his sign from Kendall. And here's the pitch to Lopes on a 4-8, ball 4, he loses him. And that's never a good idea. Lopes, a double-A, 18 not held. He'll have to be held on. He's a 16. The pitch to Buckner. There goes Lopes. Whoops, there goes Lopes. Kendall's throw, and he's got him. Oh, my God. Kendall throws Lopes out at second. So caught stealing Lopes. And there's 2 out. And here's Buckner now. Or rather, here's the next pitch to Buckner. On a 5-8, that's shortstop X. That's Enzo Hernandez. He's a 2. On a 19, he boots it. Oh, my goodness. An error on Hernandez. Error San Diego. That puts Buckner on first. He's an A. He'll have to be held on. And here's Jim Wynn now with 2 down. Friesleben from the stretch. The pitch to Wynn on a 1-9. Ball 4. He takes the walk. So Jim Wynn works out a walk. He also walked in the 1st inning. The Dodgers have 1st and 2nd and 2 down. And here's Steve Garvey. Garvey struck out in the 1st. Friesleben gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Garvey. On a 1-7, that's going to be a tapper down to short. Hernandez charging, gloves it, throws on the run in time. So no runs, no hits, 2 left on. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, still scoreless. So Lopes now, 9-6, 9 steals, 6 caught. Kind of uncharacteristically. Okay, John getting ready to work in the bottom of the 3rd. It's Hernandez, McCovey, and Colbert. Here's Enzo Hernandez. Tommy John gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Hernandez. On a 3-3 against the lefty. That's a pop-up left side. Say calling for it. He's got it, and there's one down. And here's Willie McCovey now. McCovey walked in the first. John, the wind-up, the pitch to McCovey. On a 5-8, that's a pop-up left side. Say in foul territory, and he's got it. So 2 pop-ups to third in the inning, and that'll bring Nate Colbert to the plate. Colbert struck out in the first inning. John gets the sign from Yeager. Here's the pitch to Colbert on a 1-9. He draws the walk. So 2-out walk to Colbert. Padres have a man on first. Colbert a B, 1-13. He won't have to be held as Yeager is a -3, making him a 1-10. So here's Winfield now. Runner on first, 2 away. John from the stretch. The pitch to Winfield on a 5-6. Fly ball to left field. That's Buckner drifting over, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. So no runs, no hits, a man left for San Diego. And after 3 complete, we are still scoreless. And I'm going to grab a quick cup of coffee here. This will be a very, very short one. And just like that, we're back. It looks like this could be lined up a little better to me. As we move along to the 4th, Freeze-Levin will be facing Crawford, Say, and Russell here in the top of the 4th inning. Each team only has 1 hit. Crawford had a single in the second for Los Angeles. Darryl Thomas led off the top of the first with a single for San Diego. There have been several walks so far. Okay, Crawford standing in from the left side. Freeze-Levin winds and delivers. The pitch to Crawford is a 1-5. That's deep to right field. Fly ball going back is Gaston to the track to the wall, and that's gone. Home run, Willie Crawford. So Crawford takes Freeze-Levin deep. For Willie Crawford, that's his 2nd home run of the season. And here's Ron Say. So Dodgers up 1-0 on the Willie Crawford home run. Freeze-Levin gets the sign from Kendall, the windup and the pitch to Say. On a 6-5, that's a tapper down to second. Darryl Thomas coming in on it now, turns and fires in time. And Bill Russell will be the hitter. Russell struck out in the 2nd inning. Freeze-Levin the windup and the pitch. On a 5-8, that's ground ball to second base X. Thomas is a 3. On a 14, he can't come up with it, and that'll be an error on Darryl Thomas. So the Padres commit their 2nd miscue of the game. That'll go E4. And Russell's at first. B. Steeler, he'll have to be held on. And Steve Yeager will be the hitter. Kendall flashing some signs now. Freeze-Levin from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Yeager. On a 5-12, that's second base X. That's going to be Thomas again. On an 18 on a 3, roll 20 sided again. 16 is going to be out with no runners on base. That's going to be a force play. So grounder to second X, that's going to go 4-6. Yeager is forced. Sorry, Russell is forced. Yeager is safe at first. Four, 6X, and Tommy John will be the hitter with 2 down. Right-handed batter. Friesleben from the stretch. On a 3-5, it's a tapper down to short. Enzo Hernandez has it. He'll go the short way to second base, and that will retire the side. The Dodgers get a run on 1 hit, the home run by Willie Crawford. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, Los Angeles 1, San Diego nothing. And hello, John West. Welcome. I'm glad you could join me this morning. Excuse me. Need a little more of that hot coffee. Still working on that bronchial crud a little bit. As we get underway in the bottom of the 4th, here is, excuse me just a minute. All right. Sorry about that. It'll be Gaston, Kendall, and Roberts due up for San Diego. Tommy John into the windup. Here's the pitch to Cito Gaston. On a 4-8, Gaston ground ball right up the middle and into center field for a leadoff single. So Gaston aboard with a leadoff single. Gaston no threat to steal. Here's Kendall now. Fred Kendall walked in the second. Tommy John from the stretch. Here's the pitch on a 2-6. That's a grounder down to short. That's going to be 2. Russell has it. Flips to Lopes. 2 Garvey, double play. So a 6-4-3 double play erases the runner, and with 2 down, Dave Roberts will be the hitter. John looking in now to get his sign. Here's the pitch to Roberts. On a 6-8, that's a single to 4, but that's going to be a soft liner that finds its way into the glove of Lopes. And that will retire the side. So for the Padres, no runs a hit, no one left. Double play took care of that, and after 4 complete, it's Dodgers 1, Padres nothing. And John West writes, another pitching oddity in 1924. In a doubleheader versus the Cardinals, Herman Bill not only started both games, he pitched 2 complete games and went 18 innings. That's amazing, and they did that back then. Now, I'll tell you, John, and anyone else, I have a very vivid memory at sometime in the 70s, in the 1970s, mind you. Wilbur Wood started both games of the doubleheader for the White Sox, so look that one up. And that was in modern day. 72, maybe? 73? Could have been later. As we move along to the 5th, the Dodgers will have the top of the order. Lopes, Buckner, and Wynn. Friesleben gets the sign from Kendall. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch to Lopes. 1-6. Swung on and missed strike 3. So for Friesleben, that's his 4th strikeout of the ball game. And that'll bring up Buckner. Buckner 0 for 2 today. Friesleben stares in. Now the pitch. On a 2-12, it's a pop-up on the right side. McCuddy's there. He's got it, and quickly there's 2 outs here in the 5th. And here's Jim Wynn now. Wynn has walked twice today. Friesleben winds and deals. The pitch to win, a 3-12. Swung on and missed, strike 3. A vicious cut by Wynn. 2 Ks for Frieslev in that inning. Dodgers go down in order. And we go to the bottom of the 5th, still 1-0. For the Padres, Frieslev will lead it off. Right-handed hitter. John comes set now, the windup and the pitch. On a 3-2, that's a pop-up, left side, Russell's there. He puts it away for the first out. Here's Darryl Thomas now, 1 for 2 today. Tommy John with the windup and the pitch. That's going to be a 2-4 against the lefty. That's a 2-hopper down to third. Say coming in, snares it. Throws to Garvey in time. Just did nip the Speedy Thomas at first on that play. And here's Hernandez now. Enzo Hernandez, slick fielding shortstop. And a decent hitter against left-handers. Doesn't do much at all against righties. John the lefty winds and deals. And on a 5-12, Hernandez hits a comebacker right to the mound. John fields it cleanly and throws to Garvey to retire the side. So 3 up, 3 down for San Diego, and after 5 complete, it's 1-0 Los Angeles. A pitcher's duel here in San Diego. Each side has 2 hits. For the Dodgers, one of theirs left the yard, and that's really the only difference in the game so far. So Frieslev ready to work to Garvey here in the top of the 5th. He gets the sign from Kendall. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch to Garvey on a 4-4. Fly ball deep to left field. Back goes Colbert to the track, to the wall, and that one's gone. Home run, Steve Garvey. Oh, let's look at that again. A 4-4 to a righty. 1-17. The roll's a 15. And Steve Garvey lofts one into the left field seats, and it's 2-0 Los Angeles. For Garvey, that's his 5th home run of the year. And that gives him 22 runs batted in now. And here's Crawford. With 5 home runs, he leads the team in RBIs. Jimmy Wynn leads the team in home runs with 6. Here's Crawford now. Frieslev delivers on a 5-11 to Crawford. That's ball 4. He loses him. So Crawford jogs down to first. Frieslev visibly shaken by the gopher ball. He wasn't even close on those last 2 offerings to Willie Crawford, and John McNamara is going to get someone up in the bullpen. Frieslev a 6. You know, I could not find Steve Arlen's card. That's another crazy thing. They used him in this game. But they're going to get Mike Corkins up. Nobody out. Here's Ron Say. 2-0 LA, top of the 6th. Here's Frieslev's pitch to Say. On a 5-6, swung on and missed, strike 3. And down goes Say on strikes. Yeah, that'll bring up Bill Russell. Russell 0 for 2 today. Frieslev the windup. The pitch to Russell is a 2-8, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Frieslev collected himself nicely and struck out the next 2 batters. Here comes Yeager now. Yeager 0 for 2 today. Frieslev from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Yeager on a 110. That's a fly ball to left field, playable. Colbert's there. He'll make the catch to retire the side. For Los Angeles, 1 run, 1 hit. The home run by Garvey. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-0 LA. 1974, of course, and I'll repeat this probably many times, my last year of high school. I followed this Dodger club intently that year. So much so that sometimes I would skip first period to go to McDonald's and get a McDonald's breakfast and a coffee and read the sports section. Then I'd straggle in for second period. I'm not condoning it, but that's what happened. Got to be honest. The Padres in the bottom of the sixth will have the heart of their order, McCovey, Colbert, and Dave Winfield, as John gets ready to work. The pitch to McCovey, a 1-5, and he loses him, ball 4. So John has walked now 5 batters in this game, and he walks the leadoff man after being staked to a 2-run lead. Never a good idea, especially not with Colbert and Winfield coming up. John in F7 as far as endurance goes. That being said, Charlie Huff will begin to warm in the Dodger pen. Colbert standing in now, John from the stretch. The pitch to Colbert on a 1-8, ball 4, and he loses him. So John all over the place today as far as strike zone is concerned. He's walked half a dozen, and the Padres have first and second, nobody out. And here comes Winfield. Winfield, a dangerous hitter, particularly against lefties. John from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Winfield on a 4-11. That's a grounder to first base X. Garvey's a 1. On a 12, he boots it. And everybody's safe. Oh my God. So E3 and the bases are loaded. First error for Los Angeles. And that'll bring up Gaston. So the Padres trailing 2-0 here in the bottom of the 6th, but they have the bases loaded and nobody out. And here's Cito Gaston. Yeager out to the mound, having a few words with Tommy John. Perhaps buying some time for Huff, but Huff doesn't take long to get ready. Here's John's pitch to Gaston now. On a 2-9, a liner right into the glove of Bill Russell. Oh my God, and how lucky was that? That's the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Kendall. Fred Kendall 0 for 1 today. He walked in the second, bounced into a double play in the fourth. Here's the pitch from Tommy John. And that's going to be a 6-8, single to 4, but that will be a liner right into the glove of Davey Lopes. So with the bases loaded, 2 liners caught. Let's look at that again. 6-8 righty, single to 4. The roll is a 9. And there's 2 away, and here's Roberts. So John trying to get out of this now. Remember, he had the bases loaded and nobody out. Now there's 2 away, and here's Dave Roberts. And here's the pitch from John. On a 6-7, ball 4, and John has just walked in a run. So McCovey comes in to score on that, and it's 2-1. And that'll be an RBI for Roberts. So a bases loaded walk to Roberts, and for John now, this is almost unbelievable. He's walked 7 batters in this game. So a very uncharacteristic performance from Tommy John, and I would have to think that Friesleben just might be his last hitter. In fact, it won't even be Friesleben. Here comes McNamara sending up a hitter. So Friesleben called back. He worked 6 innings, allowed 3 hits and 2 runs, a home run to Crawford and a home run to Garvey. He walked 4 himself. Somebody better talk to this home plate umpire about his strike zone. 11 walks in this game. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikeouts for Friesleb, and he did a fine job. Corkins, who's been warming, will be coming on in the top of the 7th. And the Padres need a pinch hitter. And that's going to be Glenn Beckert. And as Beckert is announced, here comes Walter Alston. That's kind of what we thought. John all over the place today. He's going to be pulled from the game with 2 outs here in the 6th. So an early shower for Tommy John. He goes 5 2/3. He only allowed 2 hits, but he walked 7. Struck out only 2. And Charlie Huff will be coming on to face Glenn Beckert. Beckert, a right-handed batter, of course, famous Cub second baseman for many years. Now with San Diego. Bases loaded, 2-1 ball game, 2 away. Here's the pitch from Huff. On a 2-10 grounder to short, Russell's got it. He'll go the short way to second, and that will retire the side. The Padres pick up a run on no hits, 3 walks and an error. In fact, that run's unearned. And we go to the 7th, 2-1 Los Angeles. And Mike Corkins, the righty, will be coming on for San Diego. Huff, a 1-hitter's card. 2-1, that's tough. They're going to bat for Huff. Mike Marshall begins throwing, the Iron Man. And against Corkins, Ken McMullen will come to the plate, pinch hitting for Huff. McMullen played in this game in real life, and he'll bat here against Mike Corkins. Okay, Corkins set now. Gets the sign from Kendall. Here's the pitch to McMullen. On a 1-8, swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes McMullen on strikes. Excuse me. And with 1 away, here's Davey Lopes. Lopes 0 for 2 today. Walked and was caught stealing in the 3rd. Here's the pitch from Corkins. On a 4-8, swung on and missed strike 3. Corkins comes in throwing some smoke. Let's take a look at him for a minute here. 41 strikeouts in 56 innings. In the real world, of course. And here's Bill Buckner. 2 down, nobody on. Corkins whines and deals. And there's the 3-4 line out right into the glove of McCovey. So that'll go L3. A 1-2-3 inning for Corkins, who looked pretty good out there. The Dodgers go down in order, and we go to the bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Los Angeles. And yes, John, I will. The typical 3 p.m. Pacific time. It will be the Atlanta Braves at the New York Mets. And that's going to be, let me look that up here. That's Fisher versus Hamilton. So here comes Mike Marshall now. He'll be facing the top of the San Diego lineup. Marshall, of course, Iron Mike, 208 innings of relief that season in real life. A record that will never be broken, quite frankly. Normally, I will qualify that with probably never. I'm not even going to do that in this case. I just don't see how that could... Heck, starting pitchers don't even pitch that many innings today. So here's Darryl Thomas now, top of the San Diego order. Marshall's ready to work. Thomas, a switch hitter, will bat lefty against Marshall. As Marshall gets the sign from Yeager. And here's the pitch on a 2-8. That's going to be a base hit up the middle for Darryl Thomas. And right off the bat, Darryl Thomas with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 8th. Or 7th, I should say. Excuse me. Bottom of the 7th. That didn't really make it any better, did it? So he won't be held, and here's Hernandez. The Dodgers will bring the corners in, and Hernandez is going to lay one down. As a B on a 4, the roll is a 4, and Hernandez lays down a perfect sacrifice bunt. And Thomas takes second. So sacrifice hit Hernandez. 1 away, runner in scoring position. That's the tying run. And here's Willie McCovey. Nate Colbert on deck. Marshall gets the sign. Here's the pitch to McCovey. On a 5-7, swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes McCovey. He takes a vicious cut and comes up with nothing but air. And with 2 down, Nate Colbert will be the hitter. Tying run at second, 2 away. And here's Marshall's delivery to Colbert. On a 2-7, swung on and missed strike 3. And after the sacrifice bunt, Marshall fans 2. For the Padres, no runs to hit, a man left. At the end of 7, it's 2-1 Los Angeles. Corkins coming out for the 8th. He'll face the heart of the Dodger lineup, Wynn, Garvey, and Crawford here. If anybody gets on, he may not face Crawford. Dave Tomlin getting loose. A left-hander. Okay, it's Corkins against Wynn here. Top of the 8th, 2-1 Los Angeles. Corkins, the sign from Kendall. Here's the pitch on a 5-12. Swung on and missed strike 3. That's 3 strikeouts for Corkins. So Wynn down on strikes, and here's Garvey, 1 for 3 today, homered in the 6th. Here's the pitch from Corkins on a 3-9. That's a fly to left field, playable. Colbert in his tracks makes the catch. And quickly there's 2 away in the 8th. And that'll bring up Crawford. Crawford 2 for 2, a home run in the 4th. Corkins gets his sign from Kendall, the windup. Here's the pitch to Crawford now on a 2-10. That's a fly to right field. Gaston drifting over, and he'll put that away to retire the side. So 1-2-3 go the Dodgers in the 8th. They go to the bottom of the 8th, leading 2-1. As they did many times in real life that season, Vaughn Joshua is going to come in and replace Jimmy Wynn in center field for defense. Wynn, of course, with a shoulder problem that year, could not throw very well. So Joshua inserted into the game in center for defense. For the Padres, it'll be Winfield, Gaston, and Kendall. So big Dave Winfield to lead it off here. He's 0 for 2 today. Walked back in the first. Marshall ready now. The windup. And the pitch is a 6-5. That's going to be a base hit into right field. An opposite field single for Winfield to get things started here. And the Padres are in business in the bottom of the 8th. And they're going to send up a hitter for Gaston. Gaston playing right field. He's going to give way to Bob Tolan, a left-handed batter, who would remain in the game and play right. Tolan the same defensive rating as Gaston, so I don't need to change that. So here's Tolan now, a man on first, nobody out. Runner not held, Marshall from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Bobby Tolan, a 6-5. That is going to be into the gap. Joshua racing it down. Tolan's going to be in with a double. Winfield will hold up at third, and the Padres are indeed in business here in the bottom of the 8th. So a pinch hit double from Bobby Tolan. For the Padres, the tying run is at third base, the go-ahead run at second base, and there's nobody out, and here's Fred Kendall. Infield in now for Los Angeles as Marshall comes set and delivers to Kendall. On a 6-4, the right-hander. Fly ball to left field. That's going to score a run. That's deep enough. Buckner has it. Winfield tags and scores. And we've got a tie ball game. Sacrifice fly Kendall. He gets his job done. Fundamental baseball, folks. And we got a tie ball game. One away, and here's Dave Roberts. Still a runner on second now. That's Tolan. Tolan's got wheels. 1 through 14. Well, he's not what he used to be, but he's still decent. Marshall set now. The pitch to Roberts on a 5-9 at shortstop X. Russell a 3. The roll is an 11, and he makes the play. The runner will advance on the play, however. So Gaston Tolan goes into third. And the Padres will now send up a hitter for Corkins. Corkins was fantastic out of the pen. He worked 2 innings, gave up absolutely nothing, and struck out 3. With Say, Russell, and Yeager due up, Vicente Romo will loosen in the Padre pen. And John Grubb is going to be the batter. Grubb, a fine hitter, batted .286 in real life that year. So 2-2 in the bottom of the 8th. The Padres have the go-ahead run at third base with 2 away. And here's Johnny Grubb. And here's the pitch from Marshall. On a 2-4, Tapper down to second. Lopes has it, flips to Garvey, and that'll do it. So Grubb bounces out to second to end the inning. The Padres, however, tie the game, a run on 2 hits. When we go to the 9th inning, all knotted up at 2 apiece. Here's Romo now, a right-hander. He pitched in yesterday's game as well. Pitched in this game in real life. Say, Russell, and Yeager due for Los Angeles. And with that, I'm going to get a little refill on my coffee. It's not time to eat, Cat. You have dry food for now. Okay, here we go. Fasten your seat belts, folks. We're going to the 9th inning in a 2-2 tie. Romo has completed his warm-ups, and here's Ron Say now. Say 0 for 3 today. Romo, the windup and the pitch. On a 3-7, that's a base hit into left field, and Ron Say has a leadoff single here in the 9th. And that'll bring up Russell. Romo from the stretch now. The pitch to Bill Russell. On a 6-7, that's a fly to right, playable. Bobby Tolan's there. And he puts it away, 1 down. With 1 away, it'll be Steve Yeager. Yeager 0 for 3 today. Romo gets his sign from the stretch. The pitch to Yeager. On a 4-5, that's a pop-up left side. Enzo Hernandez calling for it. He's got it, and there's 2 outs. And the Dodgers will have to send up a pinch hitter now for Mike Marshall. Marshall worked 2. Gave up 2 hits and a run. No walks, struck out a pair. Due up for the Padres, Thomas, Hernandez, McCovey. Jeff Zahn will get loose in the Los Angeles pen. And coming off the bench for Los Angeles, Manny Mota. God, I love saying that. So 2 down, Say at first, and here's Manny Mota now. Kendall out to the mound. They're probably going over how they want to pitch Mota. Okay, they settle back in now, and Romo from the stretch comes to the plate on a 3-5, single to 1, but that line drive is going to find the glove of Enzo Hernandez, and that will retire the side. So Mota lines out to short. That'll do it for the Dodgers. No runs a hit, they leave a man. And we go to the bottom of the 9th, all knotted up at 2. Jeff Zahn, the left-hander, coming on to pitch for the Dodgers. He'll be facing the top of the San Diego order, Thomas, Hernandez, and McCovey. And the Dodgers are running out of pitchers. I may have to do something creative here. For now, it's Zahn against Thomas. Thomas, the switch hitter, batting righty. Zahn, the windup on the pitch, is 6-11. That's a grounder to first base X. That's going to be Garvey. He's a 1 on a 15. Garvey will take it to the bag himself. A fine stop. And there's 1 down. Here's Enzo Hernandez now. He's 0 for 3 today. Here's the pitch from Zahn. On a 2-7, that's a tapper down to short. Russell charging. He's got it. Throws in time. And with 2 down, Willie McCovey will be the batter. McCovey 0 for 2 today, walked twice. So that's with both against Tommy John, however. Zahn, the windup. The pitch to McCovey on a 5-6. Fly ball to right, playable. That's Willie Crawford. He ranges over to his right and puts it away. So a 1-2-3 inning for Zahn. And we're going to extra innings here. Romo will come back out for the 10th. He'll be facing the top of the Dodger lineup, Lopes, Buckner, and Vaughn Joshua. And don't the Dodgers wish they still had Jimmy Winsbat in the lineup right now? Okay, Romo ready to go. He gets the sign from Kendall. Here's the windup and the pitch to Lopes. On a 4-4 at shortstop X. That's Hernandez. That's a 2. On a 16, Hernandez behind the bag. Brilliant diving stop. Up to his feet. Throws and just nips Lopes at first base. Oh my God, what a play by Hernandez. That was a big play to keep Lopes off the base paths, and here's Buckner now. Romo winds and deals. The pitch to Buckner is a 6-7. It's a pop-up right side. Darryl Thomas calling for it, and he puts it away. And quickly, there's 2 down here in the 10th. And here's Vaughn Joshua now inserted into the game for defense. Romo winds and deals. The pitch to Joshua, a 5-8 to the lefty. Joshua goes the other way and lines a sharp single into left field. So a base hit for Vaughn Joshua here with 2 down. He will not be held on, and that'll bring up Garvey. Romo from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Garvey. On a 3-8, that's a single into right field. Joshua rounding second. He's going to steam into third. And it's first and third, 2 away on a base hit by Garvey. And Willie Crawford will be the batter. And here comes McNamara. He's going to bring in the lefty Tomlin to pitch to Crawford. So Romo goes 1 2/3, 2 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. Dave Tomlin, the lefty, will be coming on to pitch to Willie Crawford. Runners at the corners, 2 down in the 10th inning. Tie ball game. Tomlin taking his warm-ups now. Let's see if the Dodgers could counter that. They could put Pashoric in right. But I'm going to let Willie Crawford hit. Tomlin ready to work here. From the stretch, the pitch to Crawford. On a 1-5, Crawford, a high fly ball to right field. Back goes Gaston to the wall. And it's gone. A 3-run blast by Willie Crawford. That's his second home run of the ball game, and the Dodgers jump out 5-2. Holy crap, what a clutch home run by Willie Crawford, who I was actually thinking about pinch hitting for. Bring in the righty Pashoric. But Crawford on a 1-5 launches one deep into the right field seats. And here's Say. Tomlin back on the hill now. Gets his sign. Here's the pitch to Say on a 2-5. Fly ball to left. Colbert going back. He's there. And he makes the catch. But the Dodgers, a 3-run homer by Willie Crawford. And we go to the bottom of the 10th, 5-2. Holy crap, what a big blow that was. With Colbert, Winfield, and Toland due, the Dodgers are going to bring in Jim Brewer to try to close this out. So Zahn did his job. He pitched a perfect inning. And here's Jim Brewer. Brewer was the Dodger closer prior to this season when they picked up Mike Marshall in the Willie Davis trade. He's going to try to close this one out. 5-2 LA, bottom of the 10th inning now. Brewer is set to work. The sign from Yeager to Colbert. 2-4 screwball. Fly to left field. Buckner's there. He's got it, and that's one out. And here's Big Dave Winfield now. Winfield 1 for 3 in this game. Brewer winds and deals. The pitch to Winfield is a 6-6 liner speared by Garvey. And the Padres are down to their last out in the form of Bob Tolan. Let's see, is that who they want? They've got Rich Morales. They've got Hilton. Of course, Brewer, always a backwards lefty with the screwball. I figure Tolan's about as good as anybody here. It'll be Tolan. Brewer trying to nail this down. Gets his sign, the windup. The pitch to Tolan, a 1-5 tapper down to third, and that's going to, a 1-6 tapper down to first. That's going to be Garvey. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that will do it. Padres down in order in the 10th. The Dodgers win it 5-2 on a pair of home runs from Willie Crawford, including a massive blow in the top of the 10th, a 3-run shot. Dodgers haven't hit a lot of home runs this season, but they hit 3 in this game. Brewer gets the save. Jeff Zahn will pick up the win in relief. Let's see who gets the loss here. See, Tomlin came on and gave up the homer, but it was Romo's runs that came in, so Vincente Romo will take the loss. 2 runs. Tomlin pitched a third of an inning, a hit, and the 1 run. He gave up the big homer to Crawford. For the Dodgers, 5 runs on only 6 hits. They made an error. The Padres had 2 runs on only 4 hits and made 2 errors. One of the San Diego runs unearned. That was in the 6th inning on the error by Garvey. And that allowed McCovey to come in and score. So with that win, things are looking up a little bit for the Dodgers in this replay. That moves them to a 14-16 record. Only the second of a 4-game series, 2 more in San Diego. And that's your final from San Diego as the Dodgers edge the Padres 5-2 in 10 innings. This is Steve Aquilong thanking you all for joining me, and please join me at 3 p.m. Pacific time today as I continue the 1966 replay with the Atlanta Braves at the New York Mets. Meanwhile, you guys all have a great afternoon, and I'll talk to you later. Take care, everybody.